All right, so we've got a pretty good one pocket match here. Roland Garcia and Jeffrey DeLuna. This is Josh Roberts commentating for Railbirds TV, and I hope you guys enjoy the match. Now, DeLuna is a great pool player, but not really much of a one pocket player. He's still kind of learning the game a bit. Well, really a lot. He doesn't really like it. He's told me personally he doesn't really like the game. He's just, a rotation player, but he's a good pool player, so he's definitely dangerous and can run out from anywhere. But there's the break, and he's just looking for a shot to get out of it. He should be looking for something simple. In my opinion, that would be moving the 11. Just bank the 11 toward the 5 and go forward there. Maybe even try to get it under the 12, but at least, like, you don't want to go halfway. If you go halfway, then you make it easy for Roland to get on the pile. So you don't want to be by the first diamond on the bottom rail. You either want to be in the center of the table where it's hard to get you on the pile, or all the way under the 10 where they have to take a foul to get you on the pile. So I like this, and he chose the shot that I picked. He left him in the center there. And what this does is just makes it hard to get on the pile with a lag stroke. That's what it does. And, what I'm saying, makes that not even an option. He'll have to thin the 8 and just go over by the side pocket, which then leaves the top of the pile where he can maybe bank the 1 or 14 out of there. So he has to be careful what he does here. Yeah, see. So he left him the top of the pile there. Now he basically just gave him the 14, but I don't know if DeLuna knows enough to just shoot it in such a way where he's stopping on top of the 1 rather than actually shooting at the pocket, which is the key here. Now it looks like that 3-4 3-4 has a chance off the 8 there, the 3-4 out of the pile for DeLuna's pocket. I don't think he sees it, and it would require a little bit more examining. I can only kind of see what's going towards that way. There's no pocket cam, so we have to use the angles that we have, and this is okay, but it just looks like that 4 has a chance out of the pile there. It really does to me. And like I said, if you don't want to take a risk, you can shoot the 14 and just bank it to your side 2 rails and make sure your cue ball stays on top of the 1 directly. And also he could shoot the 15. He could shoot the 15 and actually 4 rail that down the table. Basically a short 3 railer. 1, 2, 3 in between the balls and back below the 5 and leave the cue ball doubled up on the 11, 12 is an option. But that's doing a lot. I think the easiest one is to take a shot at the 14. Just stop your ball there. Hit it how you need to hit it to play defense. Shooting the 1 ball. I knew that 4 ball had a chance. I said it, but he didn't shoot it. He didn't shoot it in such a way where he was going into the pile opening anything. He shot it in such a way as to duck. Now, I don't know if he can actually cut the 14 and go below the 5 now, or he's sort of put himself in more of a trap here. But he can play the double up. He can roll on down, touch the 15. The 11-1 are tied up, so now he doesn't even have a combo at the 12 if he wanted to get out of this. All right, so he just did what I said. He played the double up. He knows the 11-1 cannot go, and that kind of makes Roland have to come up with something here. Okay, so I wonder if Roland could shoot that ball. I can't tell what that is from here. Maybe the 14, shooting it off the pile instead of cutting it, using the pile. Oh no, he went on and cut at it, and wow. But he sold out though. He lost the 3 ball in there, and there are a few balls to go to if DeLuna could get the cue ball freed up. Now in this situation, if you wanted to elevate with draw, the cue ball is going to jump. So that makes it where you get past everything without hitting it. It'll jump a couple of, skips before it draws. If he elevates and tries to put the draw stroke on it, it'll jump. So I'm interested to see what he does to try and get out of this. He actually could just roll forward and, make the 9 and get out of trouble, or even clear the 9. Actually, he can actually clear the 9. The way the 14 is laying, it looks like he can shoot it into the side rail and clean the 9 out on the way out and draw your cue ball into the 10. Now, the only problem with that shot is the 5 would still be sitting there. So that's the only issue with that. Now, if he can shoot the 3 in and go 2 rails around the 5 and get to the 10 and stuff, then Roland's in trouble. But if he can't, then he'll just, roll forward and either clear the 9 or something of that nature. So we'll see what he does. This would be much tougher for a right-handed player to shoot. He's lefty, so this is actually ideal for him. It would be ideal for the right-hander to be shooting in the other pocket as far as elevation, or even if it's not elevated, once you go up the table, your hips in the way a certain amount if you're right-handed in this position. So he's basically just looking to see if he can cheat the pocket and create some angle to get another shot, or is he just going to have to roll this and basically take what you get out of it? Okay, so he did it. He created the angle. Beautiful shot. Now, if the 8's wired, well, it doesn't matter. He has a shot to shoot the 10 and draw the 2 out of there, get the 2 out, and kind of open up all the balls right there. And I like that. Shoot the 10 and you draw off the 2. Just pull it back to the rail and you get on the 5 for a saver. That's the shot. Right. All right. So now you got the 5. The 6 ball goes at the top, so you'll play shape for it. Now you actually could go to the 8 here yeah, you could go to the 8 right now if you didn't want to. Like just a level stroke, and you're gonna go right inside that 7. The only problem is if you get elevated, it would be hard to go back to the balls. But in this position, when you're close to the rail and you have to hit it harder, it's just more of a chance of missing. And he knows he's not all the way out of the woods yet. If he were to miss from here, Roland would have 7 balls to, go ahead and get right there if he were to be able to open them a bit. I like playing for the 8 now. All right, so he went to the 6. And if you notice where he got on the wrong side of the 6. So now he's got to play. He's got to go forward with inside English to get inside that 13-7 or draw to the 2 ball. So he's got to make his choice here. Okay, so he's looking at the combo instead of trying to play shape for him one at a time. Oh, he's gonna shoot it now off angle? I don't believe that. No way. Oh wow. See, that's what I'm talking about with these 9 balls and they're straight shooting, like only a 9 ball player would think to shoot it that way. I mean, even though he opened the balls up, and they go now, like it just he took the harder shot with more of a chance of him missing with all those balls open, and I can just promise you a one pocket player is just not going to do that. That's how you know that he's still very new to the game. Like no, there's no fear in him as far as missing yet, and that's what one pocket does to you. All right, so it looks like the 13 goes, but the 6 is in the game right there, but he's only playing for 2. Should he go for the 6 now and come back to the 13? Or should he shoot the 13 and just go to the 2? I don't know. I kind of like, I don't know. I kind of like shooting either one of those balls and going to the 2 is easier than coming back. I would draw this up above the 2 ball rather than trying to come back. Because you could get funny, you know? And he does get slightly elevated, but not enough to scare. And this is for the out ball to get the first game. Ooh. Okay, I thought he missed it. He thought he missed it too by his body language. So DeLuna takes the first game, and Roland Garcia is now trying to break DeLuna's serve. See what he comes up with.
Table 18, you have 7 minutes. Paul H, table 17, you have 7 minutes. Isa Ateni, table 15, you have 9 minutes. Roberto Gomez, table 19, you have 12 minutes.
All right, so Jeff DeLuna's break, leading 1-0 on Roland Garcia,
You have 12 minutes.
and looking to hold that lead. Well, there's the break. Not the best break. Neither one of his corner balls really stayed by the pocket, right? And I don't know. It's just pretty easy to not sell out a shot here, I would say. I think he can come off the 7 or 2 ball and slide over one rail behind the 5 maybe. And he could also cut the 4 down in front of the 15 where it doesn't bank, but that leaves a lot of options open. I like coming behind the 5 off the 7 or 2 ball. Like this. Beautiful. And now DeLuna will have no choice but just to nick the 5 and get below the 15. You don't want to try to do any real cue ball movement like this. Try to get on the 4 or anything. You're going to mess around and leave a bank. So he's just supposed to thin the 5 and let the cue ball just fall down below the 15 and get a rail here. You don't want to get all the way on the side rail because then you'll leave a bank. Is he kicking this ball instead? Oh, he took a foul. He took a foul. All right. So now Roland is supposed to try to get behind the 5 again, I would say. He can cut the 4 down in front of the 15 and go behind the 5 now. He's got much better angle to do it now than he did on the first shot. Now you want to keep the 4 near the bottom rail where the 15 doesn't bank. Oh, he didn't hide it. So now Jeff will be able to at least move the 4. He could actually bank the 15 into the pile and avoid the 4 completely. Or he could just kick the 4 rail first and just remove it now. He's got a few options. If he wants to be aggressive, he can bank the 15 into the bottom of the 7 or 2 ball and go 1 rail up to the side pocket and just completely avoid the 4. Or he can just kick the 4 out. Those are his 2 best options, in my opinion. Kick the 4 out and stay right there where Garcia can only see the 15. The only reason I don't like that is because he leaves it wide open for Garcia to do what he wants. You can pretty much see his side of the table where Garcia pretty much gets to do what he wants. He can two rail this five into the pile. He can just softly roll forward and stay behind the 11, making sure DeLuna can't see the 15 or the four. There's a few options here. Now there is an offensive shot, but I don't think it's worth it. It looks like it carries a scratch. He can bank the five at the pocket, and when he does, the cue ball will take the path of cutting the 11 towards the pocket as well. But it looks like off the 11 there is a scratch that you have to be very careful of, and it looks like it's almost dead on if you do it that way. That's why he didn't. Notice he just used the 11 ball and stayed behind it, and now DeLuna cannot move the 4 ball down. So he's going to have to probably bank that 12, I would say. Bank the 12 and you go up the table, leave him on the end rail. I don't think he should be going this way, but like I said, DeLuna doesn't know the shots, so I expect him to not take traditional one pocket shots. Now he's done a good job with putting the cue ball on the rail. He took away the control, and he took away the control. So now Garcia will have to. I don't know. He could actually clear the ball or bank the 10 and roll down behind the 11. He could bank the 10 in towards the pile and cut it a little bit where the cue ball kind of rides the rail, but he's not doing that. He's going to bank the 11 and try to hit the outside of the 5 going toward the right. Okay, he crossed it the other way. I seen that it was possible, but I didn't think he was going to do it. It's a good shot. Came out okay. He did let DeLuna on his side pretty easily where he can play safe easily here. So he could either kick the 15, which I like the most, or he could kick the 2 ball. I like kicking the 15 because that takes away most of the threat from Roland's pocket. Because the 15 you can make from just about anywhere on the table because it's so close. So I would soft kick the 15 and try to lay down behind the 2. It looks like he is doing something different. Yeah, see. The only problem with that is you're leaving the balls there by his hole to where if he plays a good safety, you still have to defend it. Yeah. So he did place the cue ball nicely. He did place the cue ball very nicely there. Now it looks like Roland's going to try to kick 2 rails onto the pile. He has to be careful with this, though. You might sell the 6 ball. Okay, he just barely nudged it and took that away. That was a well taken foul there. So DeLuna is now in a trap where he'll have to try to figure his way out of this one. Definitely tough to do. And that's right, DeLuna did take the first foul. That's correct. So, all right. Well, I mean, he really doesn't have much. He can push the 6 down and freeze up on the 9 just to get out of the inning here. Okay, so he didn't do that. Now Roland's going to push the 7 over and just stay behind the 2. You don't want to hit the 2 because that's creating the trap for you here. Oh, he's thinking about removing the 6 and going back to the pile, taking something off of Jeff's side. But I like just utilizing the pile, just pushing some balls open and staying there. Careful now. Okay, so he still was able to nut 7 out and free it and make it a playable ball, and I like that. Very good shot. And Jeff has No shots. It looked like he's froze to the 2 here, where he's just gonna have to thin it and go back to the pile, hope for a better shot here. And he's done a good job with that. He's done a good job with that. So if I'm rolling, I'm gonna push the 8 into the 7 right now and just kind of lay on the 2. 9, 8 into the 7 and stay there. See, if you move the 2 ball, you open the lane that he didn't have. You want to leave that 2 ball there. It's creating a wall that he don't have and a potential shot for you later. See, now you move that ball. If he could see the 11, you might have hurt your position. He's still okay. He didn't leave Jeff anything to get out of this. Jeff is going to have to either kick 1 or 2 rails at the 15 is what I'd say to try to get out of this. And the 1 rail at the 15 is a little risky because it carries a scratch if you hit below the 15. Like if you hit half a ball on the low side, you will scratch. So it's definitely it's taking a foul here. And to be honest, with the derby rules, they must have didn't listen at the players' meeting, because with the derby rules, when it's a negative 1-to-1 ball count, it goes back to even to speed up the game. And so that's how that was going. So before he took that foul, it should have been even.
30 minutes after the conclusion of this match, we will begin the finals. It could be a two-setter because Federer has a rebuff. But nevertheless, 30 minutes after this is over, we're
Uh,
live to the
well,
great
Roland gave up his position trying to do that.
Thanks.
You know, now nothing goes for rolling. I mean, for Jeff, and the ball's tied up for Roland. But I mean, he can easily get out of this now. I'm not sure he knows exactly what to do to get out of it. I would start with soft kick in the 2 ball, or maybe coming off. I don't know about coming off the 9, because you kind of just leave everything there. And you don't want to really softly open anything up, because then you just leave them all there for him, and it's ideal again. Even though I'd hate to do it, he might have to just come off the 9 and go behind the 2 here. He can't cross the 2. It's a double kiss, so there's no crossing it. Yeah, I can see what I mean, because now the 11 ball automatically goes with that 2 ball there. It's a gate. If he hits anywhere inside that 2 ball, the 11's gone. So he's definitely got a nice look at this bank. He needs to elevate and hit this with a little bit of pace to transfer the English to the object ball, where the 11 will take some left hand twist off the cue ball. That's what you want. So basically, he's got to cut it up outside the titty and let the transfer of English turn that 11 ball back toward the 2. If he doesn't do that, then he won't hit inside the 2 and he won't make it. So he's got to elevate and hit this with a touch of speed. Okay, so he didn't hit it. Oh my God, and he tied them all up. Uh, I don't know. If I'm DeLuna, I might go ahead and bank it. I wouldn't even mess with any of this. I would go ahead and bank at the 12. Well, it looks like he's maybe deciding to bank at the 8 instead. But the 8 doesn't go, so basically he would be banking it into the pile. Now the 14-9 looks like it has a chance. I wish we had a pocket cam, then we could see how close it is lined up to the pocket. But from here, it looks pretty good. At least worth going around and taking a look at for DeLuna. He's gonna kick at the 7 instead, though. Oh no, he kicked at the 9. He did kick at it. He didn't read the throw, though. He didn't read the throw. All right, so the only problem with rolling in this situation is the balls aren't open. This would be ideal to just shoot the three and draw back to the nine and just keep them snugged in. But the only problem with that is DeLuna can't. He won't sell out because the balls are tied up on Roland's side rail there. So that's definitely an issue. Yeah, if I'm DeLuna, I go ahead immediately and just cross the seven and lay my cue ball on the three and get the seven more playable for my side of the table. That's what I like. Now he does have a shot at the one if he wanted to take a look at it. He could shoot it with a little bit of low and just draw over to the 8-5. As I said, nothing goes from that side rail with those balls tied up that way. So he could actually shoot at the one and play shape on those balls around the spot. Okay, well, he got a little bit of a rub off the six, and that certainly helped him out. Now, if Roland looks at this correctly, he could make no, he can't. He can't. He can't. Only reason he can't is because he can't guarantee that it'll go. He could shoot the 11 inside the 4 and maybe carry the 2 in off of the 4 with the 11 ball. The only problem with that is he's clearing his whole side if he does it, and he wouldn't be able to protect the cue ball. He looks like he's shooting at the 10 maybe. 10 off the 7. Wow. Well, he's done a nice job opening them. So now, if DeLuna is thinking about this smart, he'll just go ahead and just launch that 10 ball into the 2, give up the 2, and clear everything else with a lot of speed. This is what I like to say. I don't know where it's going, but they can't stay there. Yeah, everything's gone. I'm going to just launch that 10 ball right into the top of the 2, let it go into the 4, and just try to clear everything out. He looks like he's kicking the 2 ball, but I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that at all. I mean, he got it out. He got it out, but everything is still sitting right there for Roland. So if he were to make a shot, or say for instance he shoots this 13 and locks him in behind the 9, he could definitely have a big problem from Roland. Now it looks like he can maybe shoot this 13 into the top of the 10 playing the bank combo. Um, but I like trying to lock him up. You have enough balls open where if you just earn a shot, you get it. All right, so it looks like DeLuna can just kick under the 13 here and just kind of push it up above the 10 and the 4 ball, I believe that is. So you want a real soft kick here because you don't want anything to really move, right? You don't want a whole bunch of movement here. I think he's looking at Karam in the 9, and he does have that shot, but that won't get him out of trouble. He needs to get out of trouble here. Now maybe making that 9 ball and moving the 7, it could possibly put him in a better position to get out of trouble because then you're below the 13 where you could shoot it off the 10 and remove the balls that way. But I'm not sure they all come out though. I'm not sure they all come out. Yeah, you can't go up above the balls, DeLuna. Looks like that combo is easily made from above. So definitely wouldn't be taking that chance. All right, well, I mean, I guess he's made his decision to bank at the 1 ball here. and he's at -2, so he's trying to get a bunch of balls, but they don't lay good to get a bunch of balls. Yeah, I don't like that. And the three-way isn't automatic for Roland, but if I'm him, I definitely shoot it. If you look, oh, the four-way rather, the 8, 15, 4, 10 would be my shot. Out of those four and the rest of them, something is going to stay, and as long as you contact that four, I would say the 10's going in. So, oh, he's looking at playing safety. I mean, I figured he'd at least cut the 13 if he didn't like the 10 ball. He certainly has a shot at the 13. It's way up off the rail. Um, I've certainly seen him cut thinner balls than this before, Roland Garcia. That's a, uh, I mean, it is a thin cut, but I don't know. It's worth the risk at this point, you know, because if he gets out of this without you getting any balls, you're gonna feel had. You're gonna feel like, oh man, I had all those balls around my hole and I didn't get any. That's crazy. That's at least that's how I'd feel anyway. It's happened to me, so I have personal experience at this position, having them all grouped around your pocket and not getting any. All right, so I mean, I guess he shot a ball off that ball. I was actually looking down when that happened. um, but he's got a bank at the 7 here, and maybe he'll just draw back and bank the 1 as well. But the three-way combo is also available there. I believe the 11 4 10 is makeable. You got to shoot the 4 into the rail and make the 10. But I believe it's makeable. The 10 so close to the pocket. And definitely you can make it with the 15. He just doesn't want to move a bunch of balls from the hole, but you got to open them. Okay, so he's going to try to use the 10 and bank it in off the 10 and move the 10 ball out of the way. I think you need the 10 ball to open them, though. Okay. All right, well, that's 2 that he banked off the side rail there, so 3 down so far. So Roland is now at 2 balls. And I don't know whether the 14 ball goes. It might. It certainly looks like it has about 3/4 of the pocket from where I'm looking at it. And he banked it right in. And a good clean look at either one of the three-way combos that he wants to try and shoot here. He doesn't like it. He's going to shoot the 14 instead. Now, he has to keep in mind that he's only spotting one. Only a singular ball will come on the spot. And that's probably why he shot it that way, because only one ball comes up on the spot. And he knew DeLuna would have a shot if he let the cue ball slip to the other side of the table here. So in order to get out of this, he needs to just kick the 14 in, I would say. I don't think he has a full view at the 10 ball. I think he has to kick the 14 in, coming to the side rail, the left side rail. If you're looking at the rack end of the table, looking from the rack end of the table, the left side rail, and just kick it in. I don't believe he can just shoot it straight in, can he? He may be able to just shoot into the 10 and give him the 14 with the 10 ball, and if he can, then that's okay. That's all right. So that's what he did. All right. All right. So Roland looking to just maybe cross the 1, or let's see, what else could you do? Hmm. I mean, he could roll on that ball that's way down on the end rail. If he did that, then that would close the spot up where even if DeLuna can make the 6, he'd only be shooting at the 1 ball, and he still owes 2. So very hard to get going from that position. I don't see anything wrong with just rolling that 10 ball in, and leaving the cue ball right there long and straight in on the 6 ball that's near the point. Okay, he banked at the 1 ball. That's certainly a nice shot. He shot at 2 rails and kept it hidden and opened the balls a bit. DeLuna's got a little bit of a challenge now. He can't just go back up the table because of the way the balls sit. The 11 looks like it's makeable, and so does the combo. So he's going to spin and try to hit the 4 here. Deep, hard spin. He needs to get in there. All right, so that's okay. He hit the 4. So now Roland should be continuing working on this. So he could actually thin the 11-1 and go back down the table. He could pocket that same 12, like I said, but there's no ball in the spot now, so that wouldn't do much good. I think he's just going to play to hide the cue ball here. A little bit risky there. A little bit risky. He got it close enough to where it'd be very tough to cut this in if DeLuna thinks about it. I don't know if he can cut it thin enough to spin past it and basically just get down the table. Look at this. Spun it right in. Sure did. Great shot. So you might as well continue on with this line. Bank the 3. Too hard to play safe from here unless you're kicking 2 rails at the bottom of the 4, which is certainly tough to do. And it looks like the four is a little bit off angle to where if you have to shoot a 4 or 5 way, then it's tough to manage. Looks like the 10 ball bank might be available too, and you can go 2 rails back to the 3 as well. DeLuna spotted one, and he still owes one. Cross banking this 3 ball. Now, if DeLuna decided he wanted to shoot here, it might be a little reward. You know, the 10 ball's open, so is the 3. So if he can pocket that 6 ball, it would be worth it. The 4 ball banks, 13's open. That's 5 balls right there. But if he's still feeling like he wants to play safe, he can softly kick the 4 and lay down on the rail, and he would have a tough bank on the 3 if he wanted to try to continue shooting. Okay, so he banked that ball into those balls into the rail, cleared the balls that way, but he still left the 3 main ones nearest Roland's pocket. He still left those sitting there. And I'm not sure. Maybe he's just feeling like he couldn't move those comfortably. I don't know. All right, so if I'm rolling, I'm just going to softly roll on that 6 ball and lay behind the 3 right there. Just softly, just get a rail. And even if the six is frozen, you should be able to hit it with enough follow to where your cue ball hits the rail behind it, and that would make it a good hit. Don't like this. Allowing DeLuna to shoot straight is not the answer, I don't think. All right. So if he wanted to, he could actually shoot the 5, come down in between the 10-1 gap with the cue ball, and have the 4 next. But it doesn't look like the 11 even passes now at this point. Now, I don't like the 10 ball just because it's going toward the bottom of those balls. You might nick one and not get a shot or open them for him. I like the 5 where you're pretty much avoiding everything and you could shoot the bank. The bank on the 4 ball, that is. And for those of you who are just tuning in, this is Josh Roberts commentating for Railbird TV. And this is 2023 Derby City Classic, third round, one pocket. And a beautiful bank by DeLuna to get it down near the pocket, threaten the hole a little bit, make it where Roland is forced to deal with that. He'll have no choice but to move that ball. Now it does look like he can cross it out, but the only problem is the cue ball is going back up above the balls where you're hoping DeLuna just won't shoot. And one thing I've noticed about guys like this, okay, he's done a nice job keeping DeLuna off his side and getting the ball out. Very nice shot by Roland. Played a nice little kick ticky. It's when you kick the ball and you get the cue ball to kind of go back to the rail and then, go back to the bottom rail. It's called a ticky shot. One pocket ticky. All right, so DeLuna just played the simple triple up, put him back where he just was, and certainly made it a lot harder to see his side. But what he did was he gave him a shot to cut that 10 ball into the balls. Now, Roland does have to keep in mind that the balls go for DeLuna, so he has to stay away from those. Oh, the 4 ball went. Wow, all that time he's been hiding up there and the 4 ball went. All right, so beautiful shot by Roland to make that 4 ball go. And he's got a shot on the 15, but he's going into the 10, so he'll have to go forward with inside English coming off the 10 to get back out, and he does. Nice shot there. All right, so Roland only needing 1 to take the second game, tied up 1-1. So after this ball here. All right, that ties it up. And starting the next rack in just a minute. All right, Roland Garcia breaking. Third game, tied up 1-1. So there's the break, and they spread nicely, but a ball laid over at DeLuna's pocket, and DeLuna can see Garcia's nearest ball closest to the pocket. So that's no good. He's obviously can get out of the break pretty easily. Now, if I'm DeLuna, I like to hit this with some draw where my cue ball is kind of going upward near that second diamond, and you play the cue ball. I mean, you play the 8 ball 2 rails into the 10. Yeah, he definitely should have went up some more right there. But it came out okay. At least he kept him off the shot. He didn't leave anything. And Roland is looking maybe to see if he can bank this one. He's looking at what DeLuna would have if he banked it and stayed there. And I don't think he would have much. And I think Roland would even have the 6 next. If he did bank it, I think he'd be able to cut the 6 in from there. Nice attempt at it. Didn't quite turn it enough. So DeLuna has a combo at the 312 there. That's the one I see that is safe enough to shoot, and it looks good enough to actually make 312 combo there at the bottom of the pile. So DeLuna has to be careful not to overrun this. If he were to go too far, the 6 may be playable. It may be available for a back cut. So he needs to be mindful of that while shooting this. Okay, well, he didn't even try to get behind the ball. Okay, well, it looks like he maybe has the 14-8. I think he can see the 14 where he can cut at it. Or maybe he can't. If he looked up the table immediately, maybe he can't. All right. So if he can't do that, then maybe banking at the 1 ball, 1 rail, and just letting the cue ball stay behind the pile there would be okay. Looks like the 3 off the 10 is actually available as well. 3 ball for 10 at the corner. And this might be going in here. Ooh. All right, so Roland will have to kick this in long rail, kicking the 1 ball in. It looks like it's deep enough in the pocket where all you have to do is just hit it and it will go. Now, if you get unlucky enough to hit right in between the crevice, it could double kiss if you don't have enough speed on it. So that would suck if that happened. But it didn't, and he got it, and that's good speed there. All right, so he's going to try to thin this 8 ball and get on the pile. Very hard to do from here. Very, very hard to do. And he got in there. He spun it enough where he did get in there. And he's created a good bit of a problem for Roland here because Roland's not left-handed, so this is very, very tough to reach. Say if he wanted to just come off the 5 and lay below the 8, which looks to be just about the only shot. Maybe he could come off the 13 and go to the side rail with a little bit of inside English and sun there. But if he doesn't get there, that 8 will be makeable. And he did. He did. But he went way too far. He went way too far, more than he wanted to, I'm sure. But This is still tough for DeLuna to just make this and get shape, and he's giving up shots if he doesn't make it. So he has to be mindful of any of that if he decides he wants to shoot. I kind of like personally banking the 8 into the pile and following it. Just following right behind it into the side rail and into the pile area. Looks like he's shooting at the 15. Or no, he shot at the 14. And oof, it's very, very close to selling out there. But he didn't. He got away with it. And I wonder if Roland can shoot the 7 and get behind the 14 here. Now, he can't cut it so thin to make it and get behind the 14. Obviously, he'd hit the pile. But if he hit it in such a way where he's missing the 4 with a bit of inside English, he may be able to drop down on the back of that 14. And that's okay. He's looking at hitting the back of the 8. Okay. He has to be really, really careful not to overdraw this one. Very easy to go across the top of the 8 and sell out here. Very careful here. You got to be careful. Yeah, he almost went across the top of it right there. Notice where the cue ball went. All right, so DeLuna won't be cutting the 8. He's left-handed, so no cutting the 8 ball for DeLuna. Or excuse me. Yeah, that's right. He did a nice job putting them back on the pile, but the only problem with that is there are no balls really open for Roland. I mean, for DeLuna, to where that's not as big of a shot as it should be, you know. Like if there was a ball basically on DeLuna's side where it's playable, to where he couldn't just kick out of this, then then it would be a lot tougher. So is he just taking a one rail kick and getting out of this? Oh, he sold out. Luckily, it didn't really go that far to where DeLuna can actually reach it. But he is left-handed, so if it's reachable, he will be able to do it. Now, the 8 ball doesn't actually bank past the 14, I don't think. So that would be asking a lot. Is he going to shoot at this? He's looking like he's shooting it. Okay, here we go. All right, so he shot that one in, hit the bottom of the pile. Basically, no shot on the 8, too deep of a cut for that. So he should be just banking the 8 out. I mean, he could actually come off the 5 and put him behind the 8. But with nothing down on the rail besides the 8, it really wouldn't do him much good. Be easy to get out of. Now, this 3 ball does bank if he wants to shoot it, but he's going to have to draw with low right to get to safety. He'd have to draw it back to the rail, hit the right English, and get up on the other side of the pile. So, and doing that might shorten up the 3 too much. Oh, he cut it. He cut it, but of course he missed the bank because of that. All right, so maybe the balls start to go up table now because where the 8 is, you can't really protect it, so you have to move it. So 8 into the side of the 3, banking it towards the 10, I guess. You don't want to bank it under the 3. I don't think you do. Just because if you bank it under and the 8 ball doesn't go, you could possibly leave a shot because you're letting your cue ball go up off the rail. So can't really protect it if you shoot at the 8 off the 3. Very hard to protect. I think you just got to get the 8 out and start playing safeties from there. Yeah, I think that's definitely a mistake trying to shoot at something. You're going to leave something trying to create a shot. I mean, I think if he's going to shoot this, he might as well bank the 8 and let the cue ball go up to the 4 and the 7. You have a better chance of making the 8. You're going to sell out a bank here. Unless you do that and just shoot it in. Wow. I guess I have to eat my words on that. Beautiful shot by Roland. Amazing. Amazing. Well, it didn't actually go in the way I said. I think he got a little lucky to bank it. It went in off the 3 ball instead of just yeah, it wasn't a ball that I expected to go. But in any case, he's off to the races. It looks like the 13-9 is easily made as a combo. The 5 goes, 11 goes. So we may see Roland finish the rack here with no problems in sight. Now he got a little angle on this. He may have to softly nudge the 11. It's either that or the 9. One or the other. I think he has to move one now. And the problem is if you bump the 11, unless you hit it really easy, you're going to create some clutter, or unless you hit it with speed and open them all the way up. So you got to make a choice. Okay, so he barely rubbed the 9, and he's got the only one that goes to 7, and it looks like he's going to have to draw out of there off the 4. So he'll draw back, move the 4 out of the way of the 2, and have the 2 next. Nice shot there. All right. So now I think he's got a lot of angle to get on the 4. I don't know if he can kill it that much. He might be able to, though. If he can't get on the 4, he can certainly get below the 11 on the 9 running into the 4. Okay, now you see what I'm saying? He missed that ball trying to hold it for the 4 there. So huge mistake right there. That's a big mistake doing that. And the only reason I say that's a big mistake is because that was the difference between running out and now battling for your, basically it's an even ball count for a 3, 1 ball difference when you could have actually ran the game out there. And that's why I don't really like shooting those combos first, especially if they're off angle. I even said something when DeLuna did it. He shot a combo that was off angle. Yeah, see, that was pretty lucky shooting a 3-ball combo there. I don't think that was mapped out to get his starter shot, but he got a blessing in disguise and didn't finish it. So now DeLuna has looks like a deep cut on the 4 if he wants to shoot it. I wouldn't recommend it though. And if he hasn't shot the 9 already, he doesn't have that as a shot either. So maybe just a safety here, come off the 3 and get below the balls. Anything else, he's going to possibly give up a shot. Like I said, the 9 doesn't go. He can't see enough of it to bank the 9. So clear some balls and get safe. Oh, no. Why did he supposed to draw below the balls? He tried to stay behind them. There was still a pile intact, and he did not. So Roland, wow, has a bank at looks like the 13 both and the 4 ball. I like the 13 if he could make it because it provides some cover, stays behind the 9 ball. The only problem with that is you don't get another shot if you make it. 4 ball, at least you can go to the 2. Okay, he's got it. All right, so now he's got 5, but he didn't go to another ball here. He didn't go to another ball, so that didn't. I mean, it helped him because he gained a ball, but that didn't help him as much for position wise. All right, so um, yeah, I don't like doing anything up the table. I think he should just nudge the 13 flat into the 11 where it's just going across to the side rail. Cue ball drops down to the bottom rail, and you just push one over to your side from here. I don't think you try to do anything and leave the cue ball up off the rail where he maybe could eliminate the ball lead. You don't have a big ball lead. You only got 2 ahead of him, so kind of want to protect that if you can. Oh, he almost close to giving up a bank there. I don't think he did, but it was close. I think DeLuna can see it, but I don't think he can see enough of it to bank it in. The way he looked at it, maybe he could. Now, if he can't cross it without scratching there unless you draw it. Oh, wow. I can't believe he did that. He shot it and just, wow. I'm surprised that he did that like that. I mean, even not being a one pocket player, you can clearly see the tangent line of just crossing it with follow is going to go in the pocket there. I don't know what he was thinking about that. But in any case, it's 5-2, and Roland needs 3 here. So if he could pocket the 2 ball and then the 11 and then the ball on the bottom rail should be enough to get out. This 11 ball and the one right there on the bottom rail. And that should get him to the hill. And I think is it his break or Roland's break? Oh, it's DeLuna's break. That's right. Okay. All right. 2-1. Roland Garcia on the hill. He lost the first game and then won 2 in a row. Now that ball does actually bank the one that he scratched on, but you actually have to shoot it with draw to get out of the scratch. That's how you get out of the scratch, with draw. Okay, so not the greatest break. Only 1 ball popped out, but Roland can't remove it without giving up a shot on the 3. So what he'll do is he'll come off the 3 and put the 3 either on the bottom rail together or bank the 3 upwards, on the other side of the pile, on his side of the pile. What is he doing? Is he going in the pile here? Ooh, I don't know if I like that. I like hitting the 3 full, banking it up towards where the cue ball is now and floating over to where DeLuna can't see it. All right, so he chose the shot out of the pile. And, I mean, it was a good shot. I mean, it's basically a survive the inning kind of shot. But, I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was better played to get below that ball and make him work for position rather than letting him work from here. Which, I don't know. He may not know what to do. Like I said, he's definitely a green one pocket player. So he may not know what to do from here. I like, to be honest, I kind of like thinning the 7 ball, just real thin, maybe push the 5 down, and you go one rail back over to the side rail and just try to freeze it on the side rail where the 3 is not cuttable. Ooh, okay. All right. Well, the only problem with that is he spun downward to where Roland gets to see the 12 given up position. If he were to stay like around the side pocket and, maybe hit that with a little bit of inside English, avoiding everything, then, he would have still had the 6 ball as cover where Roland would have had to figure something else out rather than the obvious just moving the 12 or crossing it. And it does look like he can cross this ball if he wants. Only problem with that is you're kind of losing the cue ball. I don't think it's a scratch, but you may get up above the 13 here. I don't see anything wrong with crossing the 12 or two railing it into the pile. Two railing it into the pile. He's crossing it. I think he's crossing it here. Oh, okay. That was a nice shot. He cleared it with the balls, left the pack intact. Very nice shot. But now DeLuna has something to do. He can go ahead and push the 11 over and stay up on the 10, glued to the 10 ball. That's the shot. Very nice shot. He shot the 6 into the ball. He shot the 15 into the 6, crossed it, and he just controlled the cue ball. Little risky. Who's to say that ball doesn't hit the 9 or the 10 and open everything? That's a little bit risky there, trying to control 2 or 3 balls at once. But he's done it nicely. Well, now what is he doing here? Okay, he just opened the balls for his side, but he gave up a shot on the 3 there. See, I liked pushing the 11 over and just staying behind the 9 ball to protect it. What he did here was he opened them, but left the cue ball wide open where Roland kind of gets to, you know, utilize that straight shooting and run out ability. And if the 5-1 is wired, then DeLuna's certainly in trouble because, that could be the start of running the whole rack because that's in the pile. If he were to play the right shape, he might be able to open the balls there. Oh, and look, he even got on the 10 ball as well to help him. Now, if that 5-1 goes, yeah, it does go. It certainly goes. All right, so but it doesn't look like it lays that good to break anything up. He's got to shoot the 5 straight into the 1. It's going to stop, right? So you got to shoot the 10, draw, and then he's going to have to shoot this with force follow to get out of there. Because if he draws it, the 7's going to clear. Well, no, he doesn't. The 5 will stay. The 5 will stay, right? I think the 5 stays. So if the 5 stays, he can shoot the 5 next. Oh, it hung up. It hung up. Oof. Okay, well, he's still fine. He's got a little bit of cover out of it. It looks like DeLuna can make the 1 with the 8. You want to shoot it into the bottom rail and clip the 1 on the way out. Like that. But he lost the cue ball. So Roland's going to shoot at this 5 now. He can shoot at this 5 ball. Now, I don't think he can go at it freely and try to like open balls or draw it or anything because the 9 ball goes, it looks like to me. Maybe that's why he's pointing at how to get behind the balls. He might shoot the 11, stay behind the 9. Okay, so that's gone. Now, if I'm rolling, I'll just clear these. I don't like trying to stay behind the ball here or anything. Just no point in it. You're not protecting anything. He can still just thin it and get safe. So I like shooting the 9 off the 11, crossing the 11 to my side, sending the 9 up the table and back on my side, only leaving him the 13. And he could certainly draw the cue ball to the bottom rail or at least put it on the side rail or, whatever he's comfortable with. Oh, the 9 actually, it looks like it has a chance to go, but maybe it doesn't go. So he's crossing the 7 at his pocket now. That was my mistake. And he's left DeLuna a shot. Maybe a shot to break up the balls and get some more. The 15 is he's got to back cut it a little bit, and the way it's laying, it looks like it's going right into the split if he just hits it with a high ball here. Now, if he hits it hard, then he'll miss the split and he'll catch only the 14. But if he catches medium pace, it looks like he's hitting the split to me. We're very close to it. He pointed at the outside of the 14, so maybe. Is he hitting low on this ball? Or is he hitting high? Okay, he hit it perfectly. All right, so he opened that up, and he's got one ball. He's straight in on the 14. He can draw back and get to the low side of the 8. I don't believe the 7 goes, so from there he'll have to go to the 8 and the 12, unless the 9 goes, which I don't think it does. Now it would be ideal if he could get the angle to open the 9-11 off the 8 ball, but I don't think he got that. I mean off the 4 ball, excuse me. The 8 ball's down the table. So if I'm him, I let it naturally just go to the 12. That's where it wants to go here. A little outside English here, and it'll go to the 12. See, that's why I didn't like the 2. You have to get the speed so perfect to try to get on the 2. It's tough. But the 12, you're naturally going to go in between or past the 8 and the 12, where you can get on those and maybe even work back to the 2. All right, so he's in trouble now as far as making this ball. I don't like his side of it. He's got to just play safety here. I would say just thin the back of the 7 and get down, or you could move the 2 and get down. Okay, well, he moved those balls, but that doesn't do him much good because Roland's going to move those right now. Since they're open, Roland will go ahead and take those away. Okay, got a friendly little nudge. So now all of those balls will go once the 7's gone. The 8 and 10 are blocked by the 7 right now. And the bank is also blocked. So Roland needs to keep all of this in mind, trying to shoot down the table at any of these. I would move the 2 ball. I think that's the shot. I don't think shooting the 9 is the shot here, just because of. Well, I don't know if DeLuna banks that good or whatever. I'm not sure how good he banks, but more often than not, even if you leave some of the hardest shots, just because you left it, my opponent makes it. Even if they're not the best players, when you leave shots in one pocket, your opponent, if they tend to make it a lot. So, and it seems to be at the time when you really don't want them to make it. All right, so they're going up the table a little bit, trying to get the balls in favorable position. Yeah, just knocking balls to his side, try to move some over and get safe. And that's how you can tell the one pocket players from the 9 ball players, right? Because their cue ball is going to look like where it is now. Like on a shot like that, most one pocket players would have tried to freeze it close to a rail, either the bottom rail or side rail. And what that does is take away control. When you only have the top of the ball, it takes away control. All right, so DeLuna, he should be shooting the 6 into the side of the 11 and just drawing backwards one rail to the bottom rail. But I don't know what he'll try to do from here. He could just shoot the 6 and 2 rail it like it lays as well, but why not move both of them? If you're going to move one, you're going to make the other one go, you might as well move them both. And it lays good to do so. and hit the side rail and come back down. Wow, he almost scratched right there. And he may have left rolling a bank on the 6 ball. I think the 13 11 is a little bit tied up, and he doesn't even have to go anywhere near that far. He can draw downwards towards the 9 on the outside of that 9, just in between the 9 8, or maybe even use follow and go around the 8 softly. Definitely got a shot at the 6 though. All right, a little high, and if the 13 goes, he certainly has a good shot at it. So no, it doesn't go. Nothing goes. So DeLuna can easily move the 6. He can bank at the 2 ball, which is probably what I would do. I would try to stretch that 2 ball out and draw the cue ball down to the up to the top rail below up above the 7 there. Because Roland has a lead, and this would be a chance to take position if you just move this ball with the balls tied up on your rail in the position that they lay. He's certainly going to return another shot that actually does go, where he has a chance to take over even more. So basically, this is this is his chance to flip the table over and uh, take over a position. Looks like he's sold out here to Roland. He's going to be able to cut this. Yeah, I think he can cut this ball certainly. Now, it looks like he can cut it in and get on the 2 ball. Like, if this is me, I'm going to do some young man acrobatics and get up on the table sideways and make this ball. Yeah. Uh-oh. It didn't go for him. But look, he got the perfect nudge to like take the balls out of play that would go for DeLuna. Like if he gets through that gap without touching anything, then DeLuna has a good shot at that 9 ball. There. All right, so he just gave up to 6. That's no surprise. Rolling up to a 5-ball count now. Playing for 3 to win the set here. All right, so if I'm rolling, I mean, if you really want to shoot, you can actually shoot at the 9. The 8 ball is holding you up as far as your cue ball, but that's a lot of speed from that distance. You might knock the 8 out where it goes. I don't know. I kind of like thinning the 9 towards the 8 and just getting back down here. Well, that's a nice shot to sneak under it like that, but It wouldn't have really doesn't really do much good unless you hide him off the seven. You know what I mean? It's not really worth it if you're not trying to make it. You can give up a shot. All right. So what about banking the two ball one rail and coming straight across, or even under the nine ball, like two rails under the nine? I like that. I mean, maybe he's looking at banking the nine ball itself, but you have to be careful of that. You might put the eight on the spot and leave the seven straight in here. It's possible. Depends on the speed you hit it. Well, you know you're not supposed to bank at the seven there. It looks like he got away with it. It looks like he definitely got away with it, though. I mean, nine ball, super tough shot to take from here. You don't have any other balls to go to, even if you do make it, so it's really not worth it to shoot it. Now, banking the seven is another story. He can bank the seven and go back to where the cue ball is now, without a kiss. Just one rail straight back down there. He's just playing safe. And almost didn't get past it there. So he should be just playing safe. I'm just going to shoot the seven over to the left rail and stay on the right rail. That's what we're going to do. I mean, you could shoot it into the side of the two and just try to get that two ball out of the middle of the table. Maybe keep the seven on your side if you do that. Shoot the seven the side of the two. And they kiss in the middle of the table. And now the seven ball goes for DeLuna. He can bank at this and lay down on that top rail and have a shot on the two next if the seven actually goes. Okay, well he way overcut that ball. All right, so Roland's got a shot on the two. I don't think that he'll try to come all the way around or draw this. I think he'll just is he drawing this ball or is he just shooting it? Okay, he overcut it. Definitely overcut that one. And he got it right in the kiss area where it does not actually it looks like you can't beat the kiss to me. All right, so he kicked it out. And looks like they're going to continue to go up the table from here now. They have no choice. Now you could cut the 8 and play back down, but if you cut it in, you could be in trouble. I like just rolling the 2. Just roll onto the 2 ball softly. Push the 2 into the 13 and lay down. You don't even have to lay down. You can kind of leave it right there in the middle. Nothing really goes. All right, so if I'm rolling, I'm going to go ahead and shoot the 9. Well, wait a minute. Maybe he could shoot the 8 and hold with low outside. Oh, this is DeLuna's shot. Okay, excuse me. This is DeLuna's shot. Oh Lord, no, he didn't do that. Wow. Okay, well, I certainly wasn't expecting that to happen. But all right. So shooting this 8 ball and playing for the 2. Nice shot. Oh, he got right up on it. I don't know if he can get to the 9 from here. He may have to settle for the bank on the 9. And that's what he's doing. All right, so this 9 ball for the money. All right, so not quite hard enough to get it all the way down there. DeLuna should be crossing this towards his side and going back up the table. Now he's hitting low. He has to be careful of the side pocket here. Don't draw it into the side.
This man,
Okay, hit it real
baseball
thin.
player, last
Come
year
around
was
the
named
balls. Okay, he's
MVP.
fine. All right, so Roland should be continuing to just engage on the 9 ball. I wouldn't even bring any more balls in play. If I'm him, I'm banking it back towards where the cue ball is now, one rail, and a lot of outside English, side rail, bottom rail with the cue ball. Oh, he tried to just bank it up softly, gave up a shot, double kissed it. So now DeLuna will have a chance to maybe get at least this ball. Like the rest of them don't really go. 13's froze to the rail, 11's off, they're close. So it doesn't really go. It's the angle to cut the 11 on its own. And I'm not sure the 7 ball passes either. Either way, I would play to get under the 13-11. And if I had to just push the 11 down, even if it doesn't go and stay behind the 13, I think that would be my shot. So I'm playing to go 3 rails and go into the 13 or below it. Now he got actually where he wanted. He got to where he could cut the 11. So I guess that's what he's doing. He's going to try to dice this 11 and down the rail and go back and forth under the 13 for that ball next. Okay, so he did dice it in. Great shot by DeLuna. And it looks like he has enough to at least bank the 7 down past the 13 and drop the cue ball down on the 10. That was a beautiful shot. Great shot by DeLuna to cut that ball in. Great shot. I like to hit this with a low inside and play to just cut it straight and see if I could transfer the English, and the low would keep it off of me. Oh no, he didn't try to do that. He tried to bank it the normal way. He clipped the 10 and he's given Roland a shot straight at the pocket on the 7. So I expect him to pocket this ball. It's free, it's clear. Nothing in the way or to sell out unless you actually bobble the 7 out. So he should be fine. Oh, he did not get it. He did not get it. I don't know if he relaxed on that shot, just assuming he'd make it or what, but he didn't get it. So DeLuna is now going to try to bank this 10. Super tough hit from here because it's straight. You have to tighten it up. This is definitely a tough hit. Now, unless he's kicking this ball. Yeah, that's a super tough hit from there. All right, so he's giving Roland a bank on the 13 now. And he's giving him the kind of shot where he can actually cut it and go toward the 10 or the 7 ball. So just banking at this ball, trying to end this match. He only needs the 1. I'm going to try to protect it with the 10 if it's me. I mean, the 12 down there on the rail, see if I can get behind it. Oh, he hit it beautifully. What a beautiful shot. All right, so that ends the match. Roland Garcia wins it by 2 games. He lost the first one, won 3 in a row. And that's it. And on to the next match, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Josh Roberts commentating for Birds TV, and tune in for the next one.